Dr. James White versus Dr. Drew, round 2. This is an Apologia moment. Dr. White was invited back on Dr. Drew and Headline News. Dr. Drew opened up the segment with apparently the media's favorite representative of Christianity, Steven Anderson.
Bruce Jenner
has basically mutilated his body, apparently. And I mean, this filthy pervert is just like on all these magazine covers and just everywhere. Literally hundreds of millions of people are being subjected to looking at a trans freak.
Joining me from the audience, I have James White. He's director of Alpha and Omega Ministries. And James, you don't agree with that guy, but you also don't agree with Caitlyn Jenner's public coming out.
When we're talking about what happened in regards to the Jenner situation, are we talking about something that is good for him and his family and his grandchildren, or is there something that could have been better? Unfortunately, that distracts from it.
Exactly. We need to ask the question, what is true? What is beautiful? What is lovely? What is good?
What could have been better?
Well, I'm a grandfather like he is, and I cannot imagine changing the relationship that I have with my wife, with my children, with my grandchildren in doing what he did. I wish he could have found someone who could have encouraged him to see that there was a purpose in the way that, from a Christian worldview, a believing Christian worldview, not the Steven Anderson worldview, that he was created by God for a purpose, and that he could find that purpose if he would but pursue it and get the help to do so from the believing community.
And then Dr. Drew responded with what is apparently his favorite argument in this respect.
And so people that are ambiguous genitalia or XXY or XYY genetically, those are not God's people?
You brought that up last time, and yet no one that we're talking about is that.
No, but I wonder why does God not care about those people?
We live in a fallen world, and there are obviously situations, very small number, and we are to stand with those people. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about actually saying that we as individuals can, in our minds, determine what reality is going to be, even when that is against the reality that we see around us.
That's where Dr. White took his argument away from him. This is getting good. I'll be right back.
I'm curious if you know, and I'm asking out of general curiosity, if Christ could exist as the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, why couldn't a child of God exist as a man or a woman? Just
you don't seem to understand Christian teaching, because we don't. Because we don't believe that Christ is the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. He's only the Son. He's not the Father nor the Spirit.
And then he just starts reaching.
But Christ can exist in the form to which you find him to be most effective. Am I correct? I mean, with some people's view,
from Jesus'
paintings.
That is actually where this whole thing rests. By what authority and by what standard? Then Dr. Drew actually played a clip from Dr. White on the dividing line.
It's not just homosexuals or people who mutilate their bodies, pretend to be a gender they're not, or whatever else it is. It's all of us, every single one of us. Abide under the wrath of God. That's what Jesus said. You simply have to say, I don't like Jesus.
James, why does God care?
Why does God care? Because in his...
No, but I mean, if these... No, but I mean, if these people are happy and not hurting anybody and maybe living a productive life, you know...
God cares about every one of us. He made us for His glory, and He gave us direction in Jesus Christ as to how we're to live. So He cares so much that He actually came into His own creation as in the person of Jesus Christ.
But why does He care?
That is the sum of the message of the gospel. God taking on flesh to come and redeem the rebels, loving sinners, loving the unworthy so much that He comes to chase them down, to die for sins and rise from the dead so that they may have life, forgiveness, and peace. This has been an Apologia Moment. For more, subscribe to us on YouTube by searching for Apologia Studios and get the all access at apologiaradio.com.